Ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good afternoon. If everybody can take a seat as further up as possible. I understand it's a full session. So if you see empty seats up front, please come up and grab that. And we'll get started in a few seconds. Thank you for joining us today for the Web 2016 Business Leadership Series, Learn to Lead. Every year during Web, University Development organizes a lecture series featuring prominent business leaders and professionals from around the region. These individuals have been instrumental in shaping the business outlook within the kingdom and beyond. This year we'll be bringing to you 3 exciting speakers. Today is the second such lecture. Our guest speaker today is a true pioneer of our times. In 2005, she founded Gulf One Investment Bank and served as a CEO, instantly making her the first Saudi female to lead a bank in the Gulf region. She's also the chairman and CEO of Seeds Consulting Company. She has been ranked one of the 100 most powerful women in the world by Forbes magazine. She was also ranked one of the top 50 business women in the world by Financial Times in 2009, 2010, and 2011 consecutively. And she was among the top 100 women in finance and leadership in crisis, ranked by Dow Jones in 2009. She holds master's degrees, dual master's degrees, I apologize, in financial economics and a PhD in monetary economics at Lancaster University in the UK. She also served as a professor at King Abdulaziz University, where she headed the economics department. She has represented the Saudi government, the private sector, the Chamber of Commerce in many high-level international business and banking events. She also sits on numerous boards and committees representing various companies, perhaps too many to elaborate at this point. All I'd like to say is that we are truly fortunate to have her with us today, and I'd like all of you to join me in a warm, Kaust welcome to Dr. Taher.
Hello, everybody. It's really a pleasure and honor to be today with you here. I feel the hate of the brains, mashallah. All science and technology and PhDs, and this is a type of award that I would love to live all my life in. Today, I didn't want to do a presentation. I told Mr. Hani and Dr. Hanan that I'm here today to tell you guys that I want to collaborate with you, with your brains, okay, and try to push you all to join the business world with your science and technology knowledge. Saudi Arabia nowadays, if you heard in the news, and maybe a month ago or a few weeks ago, the king announced the transformation plan for Saudi Arabia, okay, and all the economic reforms that they wanted to do. And I came on TV and I commented a few comments saying that, okay, we need an economic diversification. We've been talking about it long time ago. But now, if you look at numbers and realities, you will find out that the economic diversification is not anymore, okay, like before, 20 years or 30 years ago. It's not the same. The world have changed, okay? Economically, politically, geographically, everything have changed. And the quick change happening, okay, around the world need us to be quicker in order to be on the map of economic or better economic and political achievement. Saudi Arabia has to focus on knowledge-based sectors. In fact, when they introduced me here, my nice partners here sitting on the table, They said I created Gulf One. Why did this happen? Because I did my PhD on the banking system in Saudi Arabia and Britain. So I did all the modeling and I saw how credit harms the productive sector. Because all the credit in Saudi Arabian banks go to construction or trade. The part of knowledge-based economy, which is industry, technology, transportation, communication, all these sectors are not welcome in retail banks. They feel then they are higher risk. Okay? So I decided to quit the bank while I was the first to be hired in the bank among 4,000 men. Okay? And that was a record. Okay? And people were saying, thank you. And people said, how would this woman sustain with these 4,000 men in one building and the high and everything? Nothing happened. I just continued, alhamdulillah, success after success. But then I reached a point when I managed the portfolio of the bank in taking credit approvals that, hey, there are high risks in the credit. Okay? Why? Because they're only very much name lending and in the sector of construction and trade. The industrial part is not there. And then when the bubble in the stock market came, okay, everybody turned to margin lending, which they give triple, 5 times, 6 times the stock market, people that invest in the stock market to make money. Everybody forgot about real business at the time. And I decided not to be part of this picture anymore, although I'm on the top of the hierarchy in the bank and I'm very well known and it gave me a lot of popularity and known worldwide, whatever. I was at the time also representing the bank and the government to America with delegations for after the 9/11 to say about Saudi culture and Saudi business and whatever. I left all that and I said, I'm quitting. I want to do a bank. Everybody thought that I'm crazy. But the knowledge I built, I saw no, the productive sector, which includes science, technology, water, electricity, infrastructure, needs the focus of investment. And I took a license in Bahrain and then I came. I'm telling you the story, why? Because I succeeded, alhamdulillah, in Gulf One to make things happen in the productive sector. I started with buying a water company, okay, water desalination company, okay, and we took the first PPP the government launched. The PPP is the public-private partnership scheme of financing a project, okay, and the $2 million company became a $100 million company, okay, nowadays, and it is the first listed ever Middle Eastern company in the Bloomberg, in Singapore Exchange, and if you go to Bloomberg, you will find their name listed. Why? Because the company here was small. The project has no limited demand in water, and you know water is a scary thing that everybody now in the world worried about water scarcity. American, European, Chinese, Japanese, all over the world, Singaporean, Indonesian. There are projects all over the world caring about water desalination because they are worried about the water scarcity. So Saudi Arabia is a desert. And Saudi Arabia has over 60% of worldwide desalination capacity. And they own zero of water technology. So I said, this is the sector I'm going to be in. Everybody said, Dr. Nahid Taher, an economist, okay, a banker, and she's coming to do water. What is the formula? Okay, I said, listen, I'm not going to do it myself. I'm going to finance it. And then we bought in a Singaporean company that is listed in Singapore Exchange, and we had the majority. And so we became listed Moya. If you write Moya in Bloomberg, you will find us there. And the demand is still now working like crazy. So whenever you want to invest, okay, or you want to convince an investor to go with you in a project as an entrepreneur or as a small medium enterprise, you just focus on the demand sustainability, not really where is the project, which country, or who is the owner of the project, okay, big names or whatever. It's the sustainability of demand and to be asset backed. You know, that what eliminates the risk, mitigates the risk, and make the project sustainable forever. I mean, we started in Saudi, but our company now is doing project in Indonesia and Singapore and in Germany, all over the place. So sustainable demand, professionalism, and knowledge. Money should share or partnership with a knowledge-based company. Saudi Arabia, if you look at the GDP growth in total, just to give you something that everybody should know, okay, the growth of an economy, okay, is between 3 and 4% in nominal terms. If you deflate it by inflation, you have a negative growth, okay, and that's reality, nobody can deny it, okay? So in order, we have to know that if you keep, that's similar to your own pocket money. So if you have money that is not making more than the inflation rate, okay, then you're losing in the value of your money. What makes Saudi Arabia can grow to 20% annually, and I have the formula for that, is focusing on the knowledge-based productive sectors. And Saudi Arabia has competitive edge that no one has in the whole world on certain sectors that they can, with science, technology, innovation, okay, could be part of that sectors. I'll give you another example. In Gulf One, we bought a company in Sharqiya, in Dammam, that owned by a Saudi, okay, who had a partner, is a bank. The partner was him, is a bank. The bank partnered with this guy to give him loans only. He didn't care about the business, okay? He's in the medical sector, and he did vanitary business, okay, or vaccines for the animals, and it was Saudi patent, okay, and the company was only, the size of the company with the loans was 27 million riyal. I came out, I bought the side of the bank, okay, the share of the bank, came in, and in 3 years, we made this company 275 million riyal. 10 times in 3 years. That means sustainable demand. The same owner, but he had the financial structure and the financial partner supporting this knowledge to go abroad. And he now exports to 40 countries in the whole world. Australia, Europe, America, okay? And he did the first lab, okay, for agricultural vaccines, okay, through stem cells in the kingdom in Riyadh. So that's how knowledge, science, and finance come together. And these are real stories happened, and you can check them out. What we miss here in financing, you can say, okay, there are opportunities, this is wonderful, okay? So how can we go as entrepreneurs, as people we have knowledge? I think nobody can go alone. You should find a consortium or a group of mixed knowledge. I mean, if you are a scientist or you are an IT person, you should go with a financial person that understands your vision and trust what you have and explain the main advantages behind this. What are you going to add to the world? Okay? And how could you succeed? Okay? Not just as an innovation, but as a business model. I think the combination of all will definitely lead to success. I'll give you another also story, just to confirm the different sides of the science going with the finance. We bought in a German company that is for jet engine recycling. I got the CEO from Germany and told him, please come to us and see Saudi Airlines. They have, I think they have some old engines that need to be recycled. He told me, okay. He came and visited, and I took him to Khalid al-Milhim at the time, the head of Saudi Airlines at the time. And then we sat together. I told him, Mr. Khalid, how many engines do you have, like dead engines that need recycling? He said, I have 3,000 engines and they are costing me storage. The guy wanted to faint, the German. He said, in Lufthansa, the maximum we have as old engines is 2. That's true. And I looked at Khalid, what the heck are you doing here? He said, it's cost me storage, take it, I don't want it. I said, you are selling gold. You're getting rid of gold. And we started working with Saudi Airlines, taking their engine, recycling them either as new engines as a total, or take them as parts and sell them as spare parts. And the spare part business in aviation makes much more money than the planes themselves. In peak time, they are good because there are more planes, okay? In economic peaks, there are more demand on planes. And in recession times, they are also good because there will be more demand on spare parts. So you see how knowledge-based economy makes a huge difference, okay? And honestly, that is what every religion, Bible, Quran, any religion says, that you should utilize your brain. It's not the money. It's using the brain that makes the money. So this is part of, and now I gave my book as a gift to the university. I did a book with a partner who is now the Minister of Hajj, okay, Dr. Bandar Hajjar. We did a book on energy and environment, concerns and opportunities in Saudi Arabia. If you want to know which sectors you should go in to make a big difference in the Saudi economy and the whole world as well, is the energy and environment. It's not about oil anymore. If you look at oil prices now, they are less than 40. And I personally agree with some of the international experts in oil that I expect oil prices to go below 20. And I am the most happiest, I'm the happiest person on earth when oil prices go down. Because it used to be as a sleeping pill to our brains. Because, and I know how much wealth creation, not wealth management, makes a better life for the people and for the industry and for the whole world. If you look until now, Saudi economy, okay, because it's 90% oil-based in its income, you find that the job creation, okay, because of this relying on oil, is very much less than the job needed by the labor market. For example, in the coming 4 years, Saudi Arabia, with the current situation, can only create 300,000 jobs. If we assume the same assumptions happening. The need, because of population growth, and to lessen a little bit, 5% only less in unemployment, okay, we need 4 million jobs to be created. So imagine the difference between the need and the supply, the demand and the supply. And oil sector job creation is only 0.02%, okay, annually. While the industrial sector is more than 4% annually. The transportation sector is 8% annually. So you see, we're focusing, the big chunk of our economy is in the oil sector, which doesn't create jobs because you're selling oil. Even if you increase, if the demand increases, you're just selling the same good. But if you create a factory okay, or do an environmental waste management thing, then you are creating, okay, a cluster of factories and a high demand on high-skilled labor. Engineers, ITs, technicians, physicians, everybody will be working there. The second, or something that I want to mention about is, in order to, this is all beautiful to focus on, but in order to be able to finance this, it needs to be long-term projects. It's not a hit and run, okay? People has to change the mentality, okay, of having a land and selling, a building that gets you rent, okay, an oil that can be sold the same day. We need to shift our brains, okay, and with our knowledge towards medium to long-term investment. And in order to have that, we need equity, but the majority we need is debt, okay? For big projects, mega projects, usually in the financial norm, it's 30% equity, 70% debt. Equity meaning putting your cash. Debt meaning loans from the bank or bonds, okay? In Saudi Arabia, we have the equity, maybe not all, but not as people think, but we do have some of the equity. The problem for us is the bigger side, the debt side. The debt side, we have very short-term, expensive loans in the banks. What we need is to launch sukuk. Sukuk is an Islamic bond. Why Islamic? It's not because of my religion. I'm talking about sukuk as an asset-backed debt. So if the company goes bankruptcy, okay, or the project goes bankruptcy, the debtors, okay, or people who gave the loan to the project will not be the first to be taken their money off. They own the asset because it's rent or leasing the asset to the investor. So you know, when you have a sukuk, you issue a sukuk. A sukuk is about a financial tool that means I give this airport to the stock market, okay, and say I need bonds. The ownership of this airport will go to the debtors until I finish repaying them their debt or their loan. This has been working out. Look at Malaysia, and even the global western part of the world now is looking heavily at this financial tool. So it's a combination then. It's the political will, which I think nowadays is moving very much towards diversification. It's the human capital, okay? Here, scientists, IT, economists, financials, everybody, engineers should be collaborating to make this happen. And I did some examples, but I cannot do the whole economy. Gulf One started with 100 million capital. Okay, now it has $2 billion assets under management in 10 years. And inshallah, it's growing. I'm still a board member. I'm still part of it. I'm a shareholder. But I left the executive thing to do much bigger things with the ministries now. I'm a consultant to many ministries to make this shift. Okay? Privatization, PPP. So PPP is also a very important financial tool to have, okay, in our government. And I am working with some of them, and I did some of the projects, but honestly very limited, okay? It's that the owner of the project doesn't come and build the project, doesn't come and build the hospital and leave. He builds the hospital, manage and operate for 20, 30 years, and then give back to the government. And the government can renew again with him or can see another partner. But what is the beauty of this financial element to make business succeed in hospitals, in water desalination, in environmental projects? It is the most successful part, and you can look at it at America, at UK, at several countries, even developing countries did it. Okay, it has to be custom tailored to the needs of a country and the law and the regulations and the sectors. Okay, the beauty of it is that you as the owner of the project, you do your best to make the quality perfect, so you don't spend a lot on maintenance, because you're building this hospital and then you're maintaining it for a long period. So you need to be aware of that, and you need to take care very well of the cost. Take in consideration the inflation rate, the lending part, the maintenance, the quality of the equipment, the quality of the building, reduce the cost and increase the efficiency. So to conclude, honestly, I would like to hear from you and collaborate with you. To conclude, I think that the whole world should capitalize first on the human capital, the brains, okay, and practice and let them be part of the practical side of the business, okay, and not to depend on money only. That's a phrase or something that we had for long, that with your money you do business. It's the opposite. With your brain and the collaboration with people who have money, then you can do a business, a sustainable business. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Taher. That was very informational, a lot of stuff. We hope you could stay here for longer, probably walk out of here with businesses for ourselves.
Yalla, I'm ready.
We'll open it up to questions
Yes, please.
to the floor. We have plenty of time, so we'll start with questions as soon as possible. I also want to inform everybody we've got a networking area at the end of the hallway that we can continue our questions if need be. So we'll start with questions. We've got mics on both sides.
Dr. Nahed, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Very good to see you here.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming, and thank you for this inspiring speech. I just want to ask a question. You mentioned something about the economic sectors and focus and what we're strong at now. My name is Loay Elfi for everyone, and I represent the Innovation Economic Development sector of the university. And of course, we're in charge of help contribute, diversify Saudi economy, and we can do this, through building new knowledge-based industry, new companies, and high-value jobs. Now, the question is, what is the strong economic sectors that we should focus on today, short-term versus long-term? Because the way we look at it now, we say that we have some industry sectors that we have to focus on to build small, medium companies around them, to have more startups around them, to have more industrial collaboration around the strong sectors. So from your opinion and experience, what are the immediate sectors that need attention from the Saudi economy perspective, short term, and what are the long term ones?
The short term could be in the IT sector, could be in the media, could be, you mean small businesses, right? If you want to go for small businesses or entrepreneurship, then you go in these sectors. Okay, there is a huge demand for professional services that we lack. Okay, but if you want to go for the sectors, okay, then you start with the energy and environmental. I've been calling on this now for several years, and I am going to do, inshallah, very soon something in Mecca in this regard. Turning waste, okay, you can imagine the size of waste that we have and we're not utilizing. We are causing pollution by this instead, and we can turn this waste to electricity. Yes. as Turkey did. If you look at the Turkish model, Turkey did amazingly well in turning the West into methane, I think they call the gas, and then to electricity, to feed the houses with electricity. We can also deal with, for example, I'll give you something that I've been trying to get it, and finally we got it for 6 years. You know, when you do a desalination of water, okay, there comes the waste, which is mainly salt and other waste, okay? You can take, instead of injecting it back to the sea, as we do, or injecting it in the ground and destroy the environment, okay? That's what we do now. We pay millions of riyals to put the salt back in the ground to get rid of it. You know what we can do? We can take this salt and treat it and get it as medical treatment, or chlorine to clean swimming pools, whatever, for cleaning things and whatever. So this is also can be done. You can go in the health sector.
We see health long term. Is it a short term?
You can have short term and long term. Short term services in the sector side, okay? Like I saw a group of entrepreneurs did a kind of a website, okay, that links the people with long-term history of like diabetes or high blood pressure. They take medicine regularly, so they don't need to go to the doctor, okay, to have the prescription again. So if you register with them, they will take care and tell you to go to the nearest pharmacy and pick up the يعني something like this. What I'm launching now with Princess Adila, the King Abdullah's daughter, just now we're launching, which take 3 years, and we have German partners with us, is home health care. Okay, instead of everybody going to the hospital, you will have a high-level nurse coming to you and deal with your case, and with 10%, imagine, only of cost going to the hospital.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I have many if you can, later on we can talk about it.
My name is Omar. I am also from economic development. And thank you so much for the information. My question / comment is, I feel most of the advice in the presentation was focused on the big endeavors. For example, let's take the financing. The 70% debt to equity definitely has to be backed up by assets, something like water desalination. My question is, what's your advice, or what programs do you see that can help the smaller companies based on individual efforts? Because that's something we need. We need grassroots development. Besides the big money trying to help and big enterprise trying to help, I think the people and the youth is who needs the help. So what do you have to say in that regard?
Thank you very much for this excellent question, because majority of the businesses in Saudi Arabia are small to medium, especially in the regard of industrial services or IT or whatever. The key element in expanding this business is, first, make sure that your service you're giving, okay, or the industry you're in is very professional worldwide with international standards. Okay? No matter how big you are. If you are even small, the key thing is that you get to deal with big companies and take some outsourcing of these businesses they usually do, and they don't have the time to worry about, and they get in a lot of trouble because they're doing everything by themselves. That's the key element. I managed, alhamdulillah, with many of the small businesses to get them into that. For example, I got somebody for the Ministry of Hajj to do the documentary filming of how Hajj goes and whatever. And they have a small, petite company. But they were extremely professional, and they got the job. Okay? IT services as well. Okay? Consultation. media, PR, anything. And then what I love to see more is the scientific part here. Okay, like the engineers doing something that can work with SABIC, we got from Germany, for example, a sensor, the untouched sensor that prevents the oil drill, okay, that drills in well, from breaking. You know, the head of this drill is from diamond. So if it breaks, it costs huge money. We managed to get this, but from Germany. We want a Saudi-based production, inshallah. That this sensor from attach, when it just before it breaks, it stops the machine, so you don't lose the head of the oil drill. So I'm saying small businesses are very much needed here. In fact, big companies are looking for them, but the quality, make sure of the quality you do before you go to the business. And if they find the business for you, if they find the business with you is good, they will definitely go to you. And let me know if you need any help.
Hi, I'm Hattan Ahmed. I'm from Kauf's Entrepreneurship Center.
Pleasure.
We got good number of technology-based startups that we work with, and we'll be happy to showcase it for you and your network as well, for mentorship or for investment and so on and so forth. My question to you is, how do you see the development of the venture capital industry in the country and in the region, and what's your take on it?
Excellent. I was one maybe of the first people talked about venture capital heavily and gave lectures and whatever. So from microfinance to venture capital. Microfinance is for the poor and venture capital is for the entrepreneur. The problem is all the venture capital funds in the kingdom, okay, have been launched through the government. And this is a big no. Why? Because the government, okay, they can have the risk to lose the money, because venture capital is about 10 projects, one succeeds, 9 dies. It's normal in the whole world, okay? But you need a person to manage a venture capital fund that he is by himself a venture capitalist. He is an entrepreneur who did business and understands how to bear with the risks and overcome them, which is not happening in Saudi Arabia. You find a government employee that is totally risk averse, okay, and has no clue on how business goes and managing this fund. So this is the major point that has to be changed in order to have a successful venture capital fund or business happening in Saudi Arabia. But definitely, nowadays, the private sector is taking a bit of a role in supporting that, but it's by, individual initiatives or individual efforts, not really as institutional. But if they find this convincing, they will go and risk the money and wait for the person to do the business, and they are willing to lose it as well if it doesn't happen, but they have the courage for it. And I have few names, okay, in my head that really did this and succeeded in some and lost in some.
One question here.
Okay.
My name is Abir, and my question is regarding bitcoins. Do you see demand sustainability in the region? Do you see future for bitcoins in the region here?
The
Bitcoins, the alternative currency, digital currency, bitcoins.
The alternative?
Digital currency. It's
Digital currency.
Yes.
Okay. Wallah, you're scaring me. Everything is becoming digital. In the region, you mean? Do you see this happening here? We might, if we still continue following the dollar. So if the dollar goes and does it, okay, then we might do it because we are backed 100% by a dollar, okay? But not if we float our currency. And that's what I wish for the Saudi riyal, is to be floated and to be backed or with reserves that are multinational according to our major trade partner in the world. And I'm pushing for that, but I don't know it will happen or no. I keep saying it, but yes, if the whole world go to digital one day, definitely the Saudi Arabia will be part of it. But you know what? What I wish is to have all our currency backed by gold and go to the old time, because nowadays currencies are very volatile. They are very much depending on personal judgment, on few politician judgments, and especially the developed countries' currencies like dollar, euro, and whatever. Look at what's happening. It's a currency war happening nowadays. And this is what I don't like, because majority of the businesses will be affected dramatically if this volatility continues to happen, because all the prediction and valuation and whatever will go away if you have a volatile currency. So, but this is only a wish. Yes.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Mohannad. I'm a founding student of KAUST and a graduate. And now I'm starting up a company in desalination. I was very happy to hear your words about desalination.
Oh, I love it.
So I'm turning wastewater into drinkable water.
Oh, wow.
And I'm still in the starting up phase, and I'm backed up by economic development and seed funding. And I would like to listen to your advice about what not to do, where like most of the people maybe you've dealt with, you've seen people failing or getting experience. So what not to do for us as startup companies at the very small, very initial stage, and what should we avoid?
In
Thanks.
the water sector?
And in the water desalination sector.
In the water desalination sector, do everything. but honestly, don't go with the government. Deal with the private sector, okay? If you want to succeed, go with the private sector that knows the political lines and how they succeed in getting a project. But don't go directly. In the water desalination, I can give you a whole year talking about it, how much opportunities we have. We have a lot of gaps in water desalination, okay? And treating, as I said, the salt and the reverse osmosis things, the filters that I saw with my eye. I mean, I'll tell you a project that we did also in water desalination through Moya company, which I talked about. We got the desalination plant project for the Saudi Airlines compound, okay? We knocked it on the floor together with Moya company. We financed and they were the technical part. And they did it with reverse osmosis, okay? And they did it with solar energy. So no single drop of oil was used, okay? And we produced the water with 3 riyal per cubic meter, okay? While the government water that comes to that area cost 11 riyal per cubic meter. And they still didn't buy from us because they said the rules doesn't allow to take from the private sector and pump in the government pipe. But what we did, we've been intelligent investors that we gave the Saudi Airlines their part of water, which we agreed on, and we increased, because the beauty of these desalination plants that whenever you want to increase, you can increase vertically. So just you build up, you don't need a piece of land. So we increased our capacity vertically, and we did a bunch of trucks and sell water to the places that don't have a government pipe, okay, or network. So I believe desalination has huge opportunities. Please do your best to get in contact with the business people in that sector, and believe me, they will support you all the way through. Because I tell you from my experience, Moya company sometimes rejects project because of the capacity. They just cannot expand the way the projects are expanding. Okay, so what I want to say, you are always needed.
We'll take a question from that side now.
Thank you very much for a lecture
Welcome.
from the brain and the heart. I think what made it very special is that you're passionate about
you.
what you believe in. What would be key advice to the human capital, which you mentioned is a very important element in building a knowledge-based economy? Because we have a bigger trend now for our students to go into science and technology, but you see much of the graduates going into what we call a comfort zone. A job, a teaching job, or an administrative job, and the system gives
No,
them
don't
the
give
big
up.
titles, but you don't have a lot of risk takers coming out of the education system. So what would be your advice in building that so it can feed into the knowledge-based economy?
Thank you very much. It's a trap that many of our students, unfortunately, fall in, that they go for a job, and this is the mentality, unfortunately, in Saudi Arabia. If I graduate even from the best universities in the world, I come back and want a job to secure my income, and that's it, okay? And continue this way, having fun and doing the job or no, it doesn't matter, I'm having the salary. And no, I believe human capital is the most important thing to focus on. That's why I'm saying innovation, water, oil, environment, this is all innovative sectors, okay? Electricity, many things have to be done here in the kingdom, and you can find, but it needs entrepreneurship, or it needs to be part of a group, okay? You cannot do alone. That's what I'm saying. The mentality of working as a group should be enhanced and capitalized on in the region, okay, in order to do a difference. And I see a lot of the youth nowadays are really capitalizing on their knowledge and trying to do their own thing, fitting, as I said here, I got few of them, but not everybody comes to me, definitely. I'm just getting a minority part of the society. That we come and you put them part of bigger companies that to outsource to them the small thing, and then you will automatically be innovative and expand your business because you're finding an income coming of it. And even if a little income at the beginning, but the potential, the future is very promising. Believe me, don't listen to what you hear that a lot of restrictions, no, chaos means opportunities. Whenever you find missing regulations, okay, then it's your time to do the right thing and enforce it in the country. That's what I did when I did Gulf One. When I did Gulf One Investment Bank, there is nothing called investment bank here in Saudi Arabia. So what I did, I went to Bahrain, okay, and took a license and came and worked here, okay, and 1 year later, the Capital Market Authority launched. And they came to me, how you are a Saudi and you're just in Bahrain, you know, the ego thing. No, we want you here as Saudi. How we can give you government projects? You should be in Saudi registered so we can give you. Okay, it's pleasure and honor. Then I took a license here, then I took a license in Germany, then I took a license in Singapore, then I took a license in Kuwait and became multinational. So you just need the guts and you see the vision. Look at Allah, okay, and say, I'm with you. And don't care about the human beings. If you have a brain, trust your brain, trust your guts, and keep working. If you fail, no problem. You will succeed one day. Succession is about many failures before you succeed. So I think collaboration is the first thing to believe in your brain. I mean, when I launched Gulf One, it's something I like to tell the story. I made the logo. If you look at Gulf One logo, it's the two sides of the brain, the analytical side and the creative side. Both needed together to create a business and to create money, okay? And I said, there is no way you can get rid of one and just depend on one. So collaboration, get the creative person, the innovative person, put your analysis with it, put your management side with it, and then get the financing and be happy. Go and let people outsource business to you. Nowadays, the big companies are struggling to find these people because they are expanding their business and they have no human capital underneath that are creative as they used to have, okay? Because their business was in only real estate and whatever, so they know what they need. Now they're moving to electricity, water, desalination, environment, all these new productive sectors, okay? Where is the knowledge? So just have the passion to go to the right people and deal with the right people and keep searching and you will succeed one day.
Hi.
Yes.
First of all, I would thank you for this wonderful talk. As you know, there are some countries in the world, like South Korea, for example. In 1955, they have nothing, no oil, no natural resources, no gold, no water, they have nothing. But now it's one of the wealthiest country in the world because they launch startups. Instead of buying oil or gold or something else, they buy intelligence. They buy intelligence for example, Samsung now it's a whole empire. It buy nothing, but it buy intelligence, really intelligence of people. So I think Saudi Arabia and the whole Arab world should inspire from those success story and move to a new economic model. But the problem that I see in the Arab world that there is no initiative for investment or for encouraging young engineer to launch their startups. So I want to ask you as an expert in banking and as a founder of a bank, what do you advise a young engineer or a young master student who just graduated or PhD student and he have some idea to launch a startup? What do you advise him to get funding for his project, and what are the procedure, how he can get the funding, for example?
Okay.
Okay.
Again, as an entrepreneur, it's the same story for each in their sector. But for IT, honestly, there is a huge potential in Saudi Arabia. Now, everything is going to digital or to be electronic, or the electronic government, the governance system, the management system, the financial systems are changing in the companies. It used to be paperwork. Okay, now everything is going into being electronic, okay, or through the IT systems, or and custom tailored to the need of this particular company or particular institution or whatever. So I think, again, to start your business right, you need first to network. For the entrepreneurs, number one is networking with brains and people with energy and capacity and a mission and a vision to go, okay? If you get this right networking, you will find your way, and again, in collaboration with others, towards going to the right business to work with them. So I believe it is in the whole sector. It's not only in the IT, and as an engineer, as a brain, you need to capitalize on your brain and get people to know what you have in your brain. So it's about communicating your knowledge to others. Where people see that they can make money, you have to show them the dollar sign out of your knowledge, okay? Don't just say scientific things. When you want to go to business, you have to show them how this scientific brain can work for you and enhance your business and make you the dollar sign. If you just talk about social or this is the nature of the world, okay? This comes later, the social part, the whatever, creation of job. To the business sector, what makes a difference is to show them how this will enhance their business side, okay? Like I keep saying to our people, Bill Gates didn't have a father that inherited him a lot of money, okay? Warren Buffett, okay, Steve Jobs, all these people, they did a whole world. I mean, maybe the budget of or the financials of Apple makes almost the income of Saudi Arabia. So it's the brain, but the communication part, marketing your knowledge and see and show the difference. Where do you add value is the most important.
Thank you for an insightful lecture. So I want your comment on whether it's an excuse for entrepreneurs or it's true coming from the investors or the government or whoever, like in the top. Whether it's true that if something is coming from Saudi Arabia or the Arabic world in general, it's usually not professional and not of good quality. I saw a professor here who was saying that he's gonna try to make a company here, but he will register it outside. Because he wants that, okay, when I say I'm selling this thing, my company is located in UK or Ireland, not in Saudi Arabia. Because people will look at it and say, okay, well, if it's coming from here or there, it's not that good. Is it an excuse or is it true that this is the norm feeling?
You made me now energetic to tell you what happened. Like when I created Moya company, it's just an example of what you're saying, okay? We were a local company. We tried to go into a huge project, they refused. What's the international experience you have? Okay, then what we did, we've been smart, going and acquiring in the part of an international company. Then came back, now you're ready. Okay, although the knowledge and the experience about Saudi Arabia and the water desalination details, okay, in Saudi has been by our people. They are the same. But what happened is that we needed to buy into international company to get them. On the other side, what I believe is good for the region here and for people or if you go and convince people in the investment side, is to acquire in knowledge companies, not to get them as suppliers. I mean, if I have a big opportunity in Saudi Arabia, and don't get people that do the operation for me and leave. Okay? I tell them, listen, I'm going to give you a business, I need part of your company. Even if I'm a minority, share. And we share, it's a win-win situation. And I come here and I know all the businesses and get you the project, but I need to be part of your company. And that's what I did in Gulf One. We own now worldwide in many intellectual, industrial technology companies. So that's what you should do, okay? You find a way. If you didn't find that you can do locally, there are some entrepreneurs that can do locally, definitely, okay, in some sectors. But if your sector is into the international experience level wanted here, then you go find a way, register abroad, get a partner abroad, and then come do business. At the end, you want to do something valuable and you want to prove a point. And you will pave the way for others to follow.
At this point, if you have any further questions, I know we all want to continue, but we've got a vacate over here. Oh, I see Mary Laura's hand up there. Are you telling us to leave or a question? Sure. Sure. Do you need a mic? I mean...
Was that Francie? Oui.
and we'll make this the last question. We'll continue in the networking hub if anybody wants to go and join us over there.
So Dr. Diam, thank you very much for your talk. I am very impressed with your vision. So I have a question. How do you evaluate a potential business acquisition?
How do you?
Evaluate a potential business acquisition.
On mergers and acquisitions? I personally don't believe in full acquisitions. Okay, because full acquisitions mean you're just taking an entrepreneur, okay, or person who did a company and make him an employee underneath. What I believe in mergers, okay, sometimes mergers are good. What I believe nowadays will work better and better than mergers and acquisition is collaboration. I mean, you have your company, I have my company, but we agree, we go as a consortium in any project, if there is one. Okay, no need to be partners forever and everyone takes you on his side. Okay? No, I want to do more of my business. No, I want to do more of my business. So what I believe in that we could collaborate, and that's what I'm doing currently, and I see a lot of people currently, we go in consortium. If there is a project, for example, for a logistic city, okay, then I am a financier or I'm a consultant. I can do this, but I need an engineer partner. I don't need to merge with his company in order to do a project. Okay, we just partner and sign a contract for a certain project and create a company for this project that ends with the end of the project. That creates a lot of good mindset and passion, and nobody have, you know, this human fights into empowering himself on the and eliminating the others or whatever what we see today in business. You know, let's collaborate, have your company, I have my company, and then we go together in projects. Every time we go on a project, we make a SPV or a company that is specific for this project until it is done or for life.
All right, we'll continue the conversation if you want to join us in the networking hub. It's just down the hall. Dr. Taher is with us. She's not going away right away. We're not going to let her go, so we continue all the conversation over there.
No,
I want to take
welcome.
this opportunity to thank you, Dr. Taher, on behalf of KAUST.
Pleasure. It's my pleasure and honor. Thanks to you all. Thanks for coming. Thanks for sharing.